Ashleigh forced me to come over here.
True, but I did give you chicken.
Yeah, she gave me good food, but she's not letting me leave.
That's right. No choices here.
We're gonna go on a baking adventure today, making all of these things. I don't know what else to say.
It's gonna be lots of work.
We're gonna make macarons and
madeleines. Macarons, madeleines, decorating sugar cookies. We're gonna make sand dollar cookies. We're also going to crumb coat cakes, make a bunch of buttercreams, ice the cupcakes.
It's gonna be quite the adventure.
It is gonna be quite the adventure.
So Ashleigh started her little production yesterday, right?
True.
She made all these cupcakes, all these different flavors. What are we baking this stuff for again?
This is for my niece's 5th birthday party.
Love that. Hi everyone, it's Ashleigh or Cake Legend, and welcome to this baking vlog where I baked all of these desserts with Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop for her niece's birthday. I knew we were going to be doing a lot of stuff, but I didn't realize how much work it was going to be until I actually got there and we started. Then I was like, oh wow, this is actually quite a bit for just the two of us baking at home. Because I honestly hardly bake at home anymore because it was always too much work. Like, compared to baking in a bakery, baking at home is so much more work and it takes up so much more time. So I got to Ashleigh's house around 6 p.m. the first night, and I don't think I left until after 4 p.m. the next day. And not all of that time was spent only baking. We did have dinner and then we had breakfast in the morning and spent about an hour just relaxing before we got back to it. But yeah, the rest of the time was just baking. I was also in pastry school when we filmed this video 3 weeks ago, so I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning every day and going to bed around 8 p.m. Because there was so much to do, I didn't go to bed until 2:30 in the morning, and Ashleigh didn't go to sleep until 3:30. So you'll see I slowly start to lose my energy as the time goes on because I get really tired. So the first thing I did was make the madeleines. I had to make the batter and then let it sit in the fridge for about an hour. I greased the pans and had those all ready to go. I hadn't actually made madeleines in quite some time, but I was just following the recipe and all the procedures were familiar, so it was fine. We decided to dye them purple, and that one task took me about an hour. Part of that was because I have cooked in Ashleigh's kitchen many times, but I've only really baked in her kitchen, like, I want to say 2 or 3 times. So I was still asking her, like, where do you keep your extra mixing bowls and where do you keep your extra spatulas, stuff like that. And then I'd have to go find the mixing bowl or the spatulas, so that did take up a bit of time.
Professional bakers never sleep.
True.
No. That is not true. Alright, I'm about to become a certified professional baker, and I can tell you, I need 9 hours of sleep a night. Okay, this is the update. It's now 8:10, and I literally only made madeleine batter. Ashleigh has made macarons, and she's piped like pretty much all of them. It's very not time efficient in here. So next I made these cinnamon sugar cookies that were made from a premix sent to Ashleigh by this cookie company. It was really easy to make. As you can see, I just had to throw the ingredients into a mixing bowl and mix it on the KitchenAid with a paddle attachment. Then I scooped out the dough with a scoop, and apparently these spread quite a bit, so I did them fairly far apart. And then I placed some sliced almonds on top so that they would look kind of like sand dollars. The party was Little Mermaid themed, so we wanted as many things to match that as we could. Here's what they looked like before versus after baking. As you can see, they did spread quite a bit. After that, Ashleigh was working on decorating some sugar cookies while I was making some French meringue buttercream, which is like Italian meringue buttercream, but instead of using egg whites, it uses egg yolks. Okay, we started baking the macarons. Here's the sand-dollar cookies. Ashleigh's doing some sugar cookie decorating.
Yes, ma'am.
I made some French meringue buttercream, and now I'm gonna make Italian meringue. And it's 10 o'clock.
But we're still going strong.
I feel like I've been moving in slow motion, kind of. There are so many noises in here. It's so loud. Sorry. It's like 10:17 and I still haven't baked the madeleines. They're still in the fridge. But I'm doing Italian meringue. We're baking off the macarons. The cookies are looking fabulous. There's a lot of things happening. Sorry if the volume was a jump scare, but it was so loud. We had the mixer going off at full speed. We were playing music. The kids were playing video games. And it was just a lot. Apparently, Ashleigh didn't realize how loud it was until I pointed it out, but she must be used to it. Anyways, after that, I started working on the macarons. As they were being baked, I would match them up and place them on a separate tray so that I could fill them and we could keep using the baking tray to bake the other batches of macarons. For the pink macarons, I used the French buttercream with this piping tip, which I forget what it's called, but it's the one that just pipes a little ring and leaves the center hollow so that I could fill the center with a jam. Also, I did not like this piping tip. I know it looks really nice, but it was a struggle for me to use. It only looks easy because I cut out all of my struggles for this video. Then it was time for me to get started on the cake. Ashleigh baked all the cake layers the day before, so I had to just start cutting off the tops and stacking them and crumb coating them. It was a 3-tier cake, but the sizes were 6-inch, 4-inch, and 2-inch. So not actually very big, but it still had the grand look of a 3-tier cake. Since the cake was going to be covered in fondant, we just decided to use the buttercream as a filling, and we dyed it blue. It's, what time is it?
11:12.
Past 11. My bedtime was at 8. We've got a lot of things.
A lot of things
everywhere.
on the go. We are not going to bed until we are crumb coated and everything is fully iced and filled.
There's also cookies over there. Macarons are still being baked.
And you have to do the madeleines.
Oh yeah, I have to do that. Okay, I'm gonna do the cake first and then do the madeleines. They have been in the fridge since like 9. I keep looking at the thing instead of the camera. Oh well. At this point, I wasn't super exhausted yet. I still had some energy, but when I realized the amount of work that we still had left before going to sleep, I really thought, wow. And it took me back to the days when I used to make and sell cakes from home. That was back when I first started cake decorating and I was like 14, 15, maybe 16 years old. I was in high school and I used to work every Saturday and Sunday. So when I made these cake orders, it was always after school. And if you make cakes at home, you know it's so much work. You have to bake the cake, make the buttercream, make all the decorations, clean as you go, and you don't have unlimited space like you do in a bakery. In other words, it's not just about the decorating. It's so much more work, and I definitely remember those days when it'd be midnight and I'd still have so much to do. It felt like it was never gonna end, but I had no other choice but to stay up and do it because I couldn't do it the next day. I had to go to school. I definitely learned a lot about cake decorating from running a home business, but I do not miss the stress of it all. It is midnight right now. Look at the amount of detail she is putting on these seahorses.
Can't quit.
I want to go to sleep.
Nope.
Why are you doing that?
So that we can have pretty seahorses.
Now she has an airbrush out.
Seems so angry.
Past 12. You guys, it is 12:30. I'm so tired.
But I am going to bring out the projector in a second, so we'll really spice things up.
At that point, none of Ashleigh's choices were making sense to me at the moment. It was so late. I was so tired, and she was doing all these careful details on her cookies and airbrushing and getting her projector out. And I was like, what are you doing? But it was all worth it seeing the cookies the next morning, which you're gonna see soon. So I guess this is a life lesson, everyone. Just lose all your sleep to have the most fabulous looking desserts. These blue macarons were filled with buttercream, some Nutella, and caramel with a little sprinkle of salt.
It's 2 in the morning. I'm finally gonna go to sleep. Bye! See you in the morning for more baking. So it's the next morning. I didn't sleep until like 2:30 and Ashleigh didn't sleep until like 3:30. But look what she did. Wow.
Time to package them.
And now what time is it? It's 11 a.m. the next day. And we're gonna package those. We're going to dip the madeleines and make some cake pops and do the cupcakes. And yeah.
She's ready for the party already.
Guys, we're going to a party today, and that's why my mom made all these cookies, and I'm so excited to try them.
I wish I could go to the party.
I'm just kidding. You can.
So how did you feel being up until 3:30 in the morning baking?
Honestly, I feel like I could have gone longer. But I knew I had to get to the gym by like 8:30.
Oh my god. I was dying, you guys, but that's also because I am in school right now and I have to get up by 4:30
Definitely.
every morning, so
It's acceptable.
here's all the pretty cookies together the next day in the natural light. I don't like how long it takes to decorate sugar cookies, but I do always love seeing them all together, all decorated the next day when it's all finished. So here I'm using all of our cut up cake tops from the night before. I turned it into cake pop dough and I started filling this cakesicle mold. But spoiler alert, there was no point in doing this because we ran out of time to finish them and Ashleigh didn't even bring them to the party. After I finished that and got them in the freezer, I melted down some candy melt and got them to the right consistency so that I could dip all the madeleines. And I also filled some molds that were like little seashells and mermaid tails for the cupcakes. I know decoration that's just straight up candy melt isn't the most fun to eat, but they are super easy to make and we were running out of time. While I was working on those things, Ashleigh was starting to cover the cakes in fondant and she stacked them all with supports in between the tiers. Then I went back to the madeleines and used the darker pink candy melt to pipe some lines and I covered them with sprinkles and then I set them aside.
Welcome to the update vlog. It's 1 p.m. now and I finished the madeleines. Ashleigh's working on the cake.
I feel like the end is coming near. It's not.
You got cupcakes.
And cake pops, true. Yeah, I forgot about the cake pops. So I went back to the cakesicles and I started coating them in this chocolate since I already had it melted and ready to go. This was kind of difficult. Honestly, I should have just put the chocolate into a taller container like a cup and it would have been way easier to dip them. I actually have never made cakesicles before this day, so they turned out all right. Well, they didn't even get finished past this point, so there's that. And then here are the other cake pops. They were meant to be like little dingle hopper starfish cake pops, but that happened. And then I was like, oh no. And I decided to put them back in the freezer and save them for the last thing to do because the cake balls were too soft. I couldn't dip them and I had to get started on the cupcakes, but then we ran out of time and I didn't get to finish them. Also, kind of off topic, but I feel like this voiceover is all over the place. We filmed this video 3 weeks ago and I've been meaning to edit it, but I was finishing pastry school, so here we are. Let me know if you've at least been enjoying it so far. Here's another clip of Ashleigh working on the cake. If you've seen her video already, you've seen how the cake turns out in the end. So now let's get into the cupcakes. They were already baked, so all I had to do was fill them and do the buttercream on top. But there was a lot of different flavors, so it wasn't just a super quick job. Ashleigh watched me run back and forth, getting different things while she was decorating the cake. So first I had to make the buttercream, and I did American buttercream because it was the fastest and the easiest in the moment. And then I started filling the cupcakes with fillings like ganache, Nutella, caramel, and peanut butter. Ashleigh had made the ganache and caramel previously, and a couple of them were unfilled. Oh, and I know just before I was talking about like, oh, baking at home, doing all this work, it's a lot and it's stressful, but also this was really fun to do at home because when you make all these different cupcake flavors in a bakery, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but you do it every day and it doesn't get boring, but it's like, yeah, I did that again and again. When you do it at home, it's like, yeah, we did that at home, all the different flavors. I don't know, to me, like, making all these different flavors at Ashleigh's house was just as amazing as making all the different cupcake flavors I do in the morning at work. I don't know, is that weird? These are just my thoughts because I don't know what else to talk about. Here I am icing the cupcakes, doing a nice little flat swirl similar to how I ice cupcakes at work. And honestly, I think this is the best way to ice cupcakes. If you do more buttercream than that, I think the ratio is off. The ratio of cake to buttercream. And then there's just too much buttercream. But that's just me. Some people feel differently about it. Here's the cupcakes that use the mermaid tails, and there's only 5 because one of them broke and I didn't make any extras. Oh, and okay, so in this clip, you notice how the cupcakes are moving a little bit as I'm piping those swirls on top. So Ashleigh and I got into a debate about this. I was like, they're moving. And she was like, well, are you applying pressure? And I was like, yes, you always apply pressure when you ice a cupcake. And she was like, no. So what do you guys think? How do you ice your cupcakes? And here's all the cupcakes finished. Wow, I really did not film that many clips because I was just trying to rush and finish this, but that was a lot of work.
Welcome back. So it's 4 and we're finally done, but we didn't finish everything actually. We didn't finish the little Dingle Hopper cake pops for this Ariel themed birthday party. But that's okay. You win some, you lose some. And today we lost some. But yeah, it's 4. I thought I was gonna be home by now.
Lies.
And there's all the cupcakes finished. We're just trying to clean up a little bit and then I'm gonna leave and Ashleigh's gonna go to the party.
Doesn't everything look so pretty? Ugh, we were like kind of rushing and working fast and we were feeling the stress of running out of time, but it was also like a good time. We were just decorating in silence and listening to music and just doing our thing. My favorite part at the end of these long baking days is seeing everything that we did all together like this. Everything always looks so fun and so pretty. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching our little journey on how we made everything you're seeing here.
And we made everything, took some really nice pictures and videos, which you just saw, and
now I'm rushing off to the party, trying to pack it all up. That's the next hard part.
I'm gonna go home and sleep.
Yes, well deserved.
Bye everybody, thanks for
Bye.
watching our adventure.